Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something every Filipino knows by heart, or at least we think we do. We're talking about the Philippine national anthem, Lupang Hinirang. Now, hold on. Before you click away thinking this is going to be a boring history lesson, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that the anthem you sing with your hand over your heart was unoriginally called Lupang Hinirang? And what if I told you it didn't even have lyrics to begin with? And even crazier, what if I told you the original lyrics were in Spanish? Mind blown. Good, because today we're uncovering the surprisingly wild, dramatic, and downright funny history of our national anthem. Buckle up. This is a story of war, poetry, translation, chaos, and a melody that just refused to quit. Let's rewind the clock to the late 1890s. The Philippine Revolution is in full swing. General Emilio Aguinaldo, the head of the revolutionary government, is feeling pretty good. He's about to declare Philippine independence from Spain. An epic moment, right? And what does every epic moment need? An epic soundtrack. So Aguinaldo tasks a young, talented composer named Julian Felipe to create a stirring, majestic, and patriotic march. The deadline? Super tight. Like, we need it for the Declaration of Independence in a few days tight. No pressure. Julian Felipe gets to work. He draws inspiration from classical marches. A bit of this, a bit of that. Some historians even say there are hints of the Spanish national anthem and even La Marseillaise, the French anthem, in there. It's like a musical fusion dish. Key presents his creation to Aguinaldo, who absolutely loves it. Key calls it the Marca Filipina Magdalo. A bit of a mouthful, but it had a good ring to it. So on June 12, 1898, in Coet, Cavite, the Philippine flag is raised for the very first time. The San Francisco de Malabon Marching Band plays this brand new instrumental piece. Imagine being there. The emotion, the pride, and this powerful music filling the air. There's just one tiny detail missing. Words, yes, for over a year, the Philippine national anthem was purely instrumental. People would just stand solemnly, listening to the band play, probably humming along awkwardly. This is where our story takes a poetic turn. Enter Jose Palma. Palma wasn't a musician. He was a poet, a writer, and a soldier. He's hanging out with his fellow soldiers, probably bored between battles, and he hears them humming Felipe's march. An idea sparks. This powerful music needs powerful words to match. So, in 1899, Palma sits down and pens a poem. But here's the kicker. He writes it in Spanish. Why Spanish? Well, at the time, Spanish was the language of the educated, the artists, and the revolutionaries. It was the lingua franca of the elite. His poem was titled Filipinas. It was beautiful, patriotic, and fit the melody of Felipe's march like a glove. The lyrics began, Tierra Adorada, Hija del Sol, DORIENTE, ... double quotes, which translates to land adored, daughter of the Orient Sun, written in the language of the nation, written in the language of the very people they were fighting against. Ironic, right? So now we have music and we have lyrics. Problem solved. Not even close. The story is just getting started, because right around this time, a new player enters the game, the United States. The Spanish-American War ends. Spain sells the Philippines to the US for $20 million. And suddenly, the Filipinos have a new colonial power to deal with. The Americans, wanting to suppress any lingering revolutionary spirit, passed the Sedition Act of 1901 and later the Flag Act of 1907. These laws made it illegal to display the Philippine flag or play the national anthem. Can you imagine? The very symbols of your newfound freedom now forbidden. For years, our anthem went underground. It was played in secret, hummed quietly, a silent act of defiance. Fast forward a couple of decades, the political climate starts to change. The Americans loosen their grip, and in 1919, the ban is lifted. The anthem can be played again. Hooray! But there's a new problem. The new generation of Filipinos is being educated in English. Spanish is on the decline. When the anthem is played, people are singing these Spanish lyrics, but many don't really understand what they're saying. It's like singing along to a foreign pop song. You know the tune, but the meaning is lost. The government realized this was an issue. An anthem is supposed to unite people, to fill them with a shared sense of pride. That is hard to do when half the population is just mumbling in a language they do unspeak. So began the Great Translation Saga. The first attempt was an English translation in the 1920s. A Filipino writer named Paz Marquez Benitez tried her hand, but it was an American, Camilo Oshas, and another American, Mary A. Lane, whose version became the official English one. It was called the Philippine Hymn. This was the version sung in schools for years. It went, "Land of the morning, child of the sun returning, with fervor burning, thee do our souls adore." It's okay. It's poetic, but it doesn't quite have the same fire as the original Spanish. It feels a bit too polite, a bit too Clunia Lira textbook, if you know what I mean. For an entire generation of Filipinos, this was their national anthem. But the story doesn't end there. By the 1940s and 50s, nationalism is surging again. There's a big push to promote the Filipino language, which was then based on Tagalog. People started saying, "Hey, why are we singing our national anthem in the language of our colonizers? First Spanish, now English. Shouldn't we sing it in our own language? Makes sense, right?" So, the Great Translation Saga continued, this time into Filipino, and oh boy, was it messy. There were multiple versions floating around, where different writers, poets, and musicians all came up with their own Tagalog translations. It was chaos. Imagine going to a baseball game. The anthem starts, and one side of the stadium is singing one version while the other side is singing a completely different set of lyrics. It must have been hilarious and confusing. One of the popular early Tagalog versions was called Diwa Ng Bayan, Spirit of the Nation. Its lyrics were quite different from what we know today. This version was used during the Japanese occupation in World War II. Finally, in the mid-1950s, the government decided to put an end to the confusion. They commissioned a new official Filipino translation. Writers Ildefonso Santos and Julian Cruz Balmaceda led the project. They revised the existing Tagalog versions, polishing the words, making sure it captured the spirit of Palma's original Spanish poem, while also having that powerful, poetic feel in Filipino. In 1956, their version was officially adopted. But wait, there's more. A few minor revisions were made in 1962, giving us the final definitive version that we all know and sing today, Lupang Hinirang. So, let's trace the journey. It started as an instrumental march called Marcha Filipina Magdalo. Then it got Spanish lyrics and became Filipinas. Then it was banned. Then it was translated into English and became the Philippine hymn. Then it went through a chaotic period of multiple Tagalog translations before finally settling down as Lupang Hinirang. Our national anthem has had more identity changes than a secret agent, eh? And the name itself, Lupang Hinirang, is often misunderstood, eh? It translates to chosen land, not beloved land. That would be Lupang Minamail, eh? It's a common mistake, even taught in some schools. The first line of the anthem is Bayong Majuli, which means beloved country, and that's probably where the confusion comes from. So next time you hear someone call it Bayong Magili, you can politely correct them with this fun fact. So what does this wild history tell us? It shows that our anthem is not just a song, it's a living document. It has evolved with our nation. It reflects our struggles, our identity crises, and our ultimate triumph in finding our own voice. From a Spanish poem written during a revolution, to an English hymn under American rule, to a unifying Filipino anthem for a sovereign nation. Every time we sing it, we're not just singing words, we're singing a story of resilience. The melody by Julian Philippe has survived over a century of change. The spirit of Jose Palma's poem has been carried through 3 different languages. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of the Filipino people. So the next time you stand for the national anthem, hand on your heart, maybe you'll think of Julian Philippe frantically composing on a tight deadline. Or Jose Palma, the soldier poet, finding the perfect Spanish words. Or the generations of Filipinos who sang it in English. Or the committee that argued over the perfect Tagalog phrasing. And you'll realize you're part of a long, unbroken chain. Singing a song that has been on one of the most incredible journeys in musical history. It's more than just an anthem. It's our story, set to music. Pretty cool, right? Thanks for sticking with me on this deep dive. I hope you learned something new and had a little fun. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe for more historical hijinks, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments what you found most surprising about the history of Lupang Hinirang. Till next time, stay curious.